Welcome to Fresh Talk.
Today, we're jumping into some truly unexpected territory. We've gathered, a whole collection of surprising, kind of mind-bending facts from, well, all sorts of fields. Think of it as a shortcut to feeling really well-informed, packed with those fresh perspectives that make you stop and go, huh.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Our mission here isn't just like listing random facts. It's more about exploring how these simple-sounding nuggets of info can actually shift how we understand the world.
Yeah.
Fundamentally. We want to challenge assumptions, spark some curiosity, deliver those real aha moments. We pull from a lot of great sources just for this.
Okay, so get comfortable. We're going to wander through different areas, science that feels wrong, history that reframes things, our own amazing bodies, wild nature stuff. And yeah, some just plain weird facts that are pretty fun. You're definitely going to walk away with some things you won't forget. Let's get started. Right, let's kick off with science that makes you go, huh. These are the ones that often, defy our gut feelings about how things work. Like, get this. Your brain, it can generate enough electricity to power a small light bulb.
It's pretty incredible, isn't it? Really speaks to the sheer amount of electrical and chemical energy buzzing around up there constantly. But here's another one that always gets people talking. Hot water can actually freeze faster than cold water. It's called the Mpemba effect.
Okay, that one always messes with my head. How does that even work?
Well, it's surprisingly complex. It's not just a quirk. It really challenges, basic ideas about heat transfer. There are theories involving evaporation, convection, dissolved gases. Scientists are still digging into the exact why for all situations. It's fascinating physics.
Wow. So much we still don't fully get. And speaking of definitions that trip us up, did you know a banana is technically a berry?
Uh-huh. And strawberries.
No.
Not berries at all.
No way. Seriously.
Yep. Botanically speaking, it's all about how the fruit develops from the flower's ovary. It's a perfect example of scientific classification versus, how we talk about food.
Definitely changes how I look at my breakfast. And then there's the sheer biological complexity. Like an octopus having 3 hearts. 3.
Right. 2 pump blood through the gills, and 1 circulates it to the rest of the body. Amazing adaptation for getting oxygen around. And think about this. Your own body has more bacterial cells than human cells. We're basically walking ecosystems.
That's slightly unsettling, but also amazing. We're not just us. And okay, sticking with science marvels. Water can exist at its triple point, where it boils and freezes at the same time.
Exactly. It happens at a very specific temperature and pressure, where solid, liquid, and gas phases all coexist in equilibrium. It's a fundamental concept in thermodynamics. Shows how weird matter can behave under the right conditions. And think about your stomach. It creates a whole new lining every 3 to 4 days to protect itself from its own acid. Incredible regeneration.
That is just wild, constant rebuilding. And speaking of power, lightning. A single bolt is hotter than the surface of the sun.
Gives you a whole new respect for thunderstorms, doesn't it? The energy is immense. And here's a reversal you wouldn't expect. Sloths. Famously slow. Can hold their breath longer than dolphins.
Get out! Longer than dolphins. How?
It's all about that super slow metabolism. They conserve oxygen incredibly efficiently. Dolphins burn energy much faster.
Yeah.
Different survival strategies, And one more to clear up. That old story about seeing the Great Wall of China from space with the naked eye. Turns out, nope, not true.
So that one's busted. Okay. So all these science facts, they really push us, don't they? Push us to question what we think is normal or obvious about the world. And just like science can flip our understanding, history is packed with surprises too. Things that totally rewrite our sense of time. Ancient life. Get ready. Okay, picture this. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the iPhone than to the building of the Great Pyramids.
That one always blows my mind. It just stretches out that timeline, right? Shows how incredibly ancient Egypt really was, and how relatively recent she is in that vast span. And speaking of iconic structures, the Eiffel Tower, it actually gets taller in the summer. Heat expansion.
Simple physics on a grand scale. Love that. And talking about time, the shortest war ever, just 38 minutes. The Anglo-Zanzibar War.
38 minutes. It's hard to even imagine. A really unique historical moment showing how fast things can sometimes escalate and resolve. And shifting to, stranger practices. In ancient Egypt, they'd apparently smear servants with honey.
Wait, why?
To attract flies away from the pharaoh.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a unique pest control method. Creative, I guess. And then you have things like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Took almost 200 years to build.
That timescale really highlights the dedication, right? These massive projects weren't quick jobs. They span generations. And here's a big myth buster. Vikings. They didn't actually wear horned helmets. That image is mostly from, 19th century opera costumes.
Seriously, so the whole image is wrong. It's amazing how those things stick. And another comparison, Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire.
Think about that. An institution lasting longer than an entire civilization. It really shows the deep roots some cultural structures can have. And bringing it more modern, the first email, sent back in 1971. That was the beginning of, well, everything changing in communication.
It's hard to imagine life before email now, isn't it? And a little art detail, the Mona Lisa, she doesn't have any eyebrows.
Yeah, it was apparently the fashion at the time to pluck them. Or maybe they faded. Either way, it's a detail most people miss. Oh, and the first alarm clock. It could only ring at 4 a.m.
Ouch. Definitely for the early birds only. These little details, they really paint a picture, don't they? Shows how different the past really was from maybe how we imagine it. Makes you question the stories we tell. Okay, let's turn the spotlight inward now. The amazing human machine. Our bodies are just incredible. Think about your heart. It beats around 100,000 times every single day, nonstop.
Relentless, isn't it? Just pure efficiency humming along in the background. And then something simple like blinking. We do it 15 to 20 times a minute without thinking. Keeps our eyes safe and moist. Oh, and your skin. That's actually your body's largest organ, covering everything.
It's easy to forget these things are constantly happening. And here's one that always gets a reaction. Humans share about 60% of our DNA with bananas.
Huh. Yeah, it sounds bizarre, right? But it really points to that shared genetic toolkit across life. We all evolved from common ancestors way, way back. That shared DNA reflects the basic building blocks of life on Earth. It connects us to everything. And strength-wise, your bones. Weight for weight, they're about 5 times stronger than steel.
Wow, 5 times stronger. That's some serious biological engineering. And a quick one. Fingernails grow faster than toenails. Ever notice that? Plus, your tongue isn't just one muscle. It's actually made of 8 different muscles working together.
Yeah, intricate stuff, even in places we don't think about much. And think about growth. Babies start with around 300 bones, but as we grow, many of them fuse together, so adults end up with just 206. It shows how dynamic our skeletons are, especially early on.
That's a huge change. And over a lifetime, the average person produces enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools.
That's a lot of drool. Puts things in perspective. It's vital for digestion, of course. And finally, a burst of power. Sneezes. They can travel over 100 miles per hour.
Whoa, better cover your mouth, right? It's just incredible all these processes happening inside us, constantly, mostly without us noticing. Makes you appreciate your own biology a bit more, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, from our own bodies, let's zoom out to the wild wonders of animals and nature. This is where things get really diverse and, frankly, sometimes weird. Get ready for this one. Sharks existed before trees.
Let that sink in. Sharks were swimming in the oceans before forests covered the land. It completely reorders how you think about life's timeline on Earth. Sharks are ancient survivors. And then there's animal emotion and intelligence. Cows, for example, they actually form best friends and get stressed out if they're separated.
Oh, that's actually really sweet. And kind of sad if they get split up. Makes you see them differently. And here's a weird similarity. Koalas. Their fingerprints are so close to human fingerprints that they've apparently confused crime scenes before. It's a fantastic example of what we call convergent evolution. Totally different species developing similar features because they solve a similar problem, in this case, needing a good grip. Nature's efficiency again.
Yeah.
And butterflies, they taste with their feet.
Taste with their feet. Okay, that's wild. How practical is that? And then some turtles can breathe through their butts. Cloacal respiration, it's called. Yep, exactly. It's particularly useful for some aquatic turtles when they hibernate underwater. Lets them absorb oxygen directly from the water through, well, there. Nature finds a way. And on a lighter note, you know what you call a group of flamingos.
Oh, I think I know this one. A flamboyance.
A flamboyance. Perfect description, isn't it?
Absolutely perfect. And get this. Bees can recognize human faces.
Now that challenges our ideas about insect intelligence, doesn't it? It shows complex pattern recognition we didn't expect. So much going on in those tiny brains.
It really does. Makes you wonder what else they understand.
And this is cute. Penguins propose with pebbles.
They do. They search for the perfect pebble to present to a potential mate. A little avian romance. And elephants have this incredible ability they can essentially hear with their feet. They pick up low-frequency vibrations through the ground.
Wow, so they can sense things happening far away. That's like a superpower. It helps them communicate over long distances and detect things like other herds or water sources. And just a quick anatomical fact, crocodiles, they can't stick their tongues out. It's attached to the bottom of their mouth.
Huh. Never thought about that. It's just amazing, isn't it? The sheer variety and ingenuity out there in the natural world. So much we're still learning. Okay, let's wrap things up with our final category. The truly bizarre and fun. Just some odd, entertaining facts from all over, like this sense of scale. There are more stars in the known universe than there are grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth.
Puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Makes you feel tiny, but also connected to something incredibly vast. The scale is just hard to grasp. Speaking of space weirdness, on Venus, a day is actually longer than its year.
Wait, how? How is a day longer than a year?
It rotates incredibly slowly on its axis, slower than it takes to orbit the sun, so one spin takes longer than one trip around. Mind-bending planetary mechanics.
That is mind-bending. Okay, back on Earth, a little language trivia. You know the dot over the letter I or J? It has a name.
Oh yeah. What is it?
It's called a teetle.
A teetle. Huh. Love that. Who knew? Language is full of those little quirks. And technically, the longest word in English is the chemical name for the protein titin. It's 189,819 letters long.
Okay, definitely not one we use every day, thank goodness.
But maybe the most scientifically bizarre one. There's a species of jellyfish, Turritopsis dohrnii, that's biologically immortal.
Immortal? Like it doesn't die?
Well, it can essentially revert back to its juvenile polyp stage after maturing and then grow up again.
Yeah.
It could basically reset its life cycle. It's still being studied, but yeah, effectively immortal barring getting eaten or sick.
That's, wow, straight out of science fiction. Imagine the implications. And then there's human weirdness. McDonald's once tested bubblegum-flavored broccoli.
Oh dear, I can't even, why? That sounds truly awful. A failed experiment, I hope.
I think we can safely assume it didn't take off. And here's a strange legacy. The guy who invented the Pringles can, Frederick Bauer, he's actually buried in one.
No way, seriously. He requested it.
Apparently so. Buried in a Pringles can. Talk about commitment to your product.
That's definitely unique. And back to nature's oddities. Wombat poop. It's cube-shaped.
Cube-shaped? Why cubes?
It's thought that the shape helps stop it from rolling away, so they can use it to mark their territory on rocks and logs. Practical, if peculiar. And geography fact. Smallest country in the world. Vatican City. And finally, a bit of internet history. The very first YouTube video, Me at the Zoo, was uploaded in April 2005. And yeah, you can still go watch it today.
Wow, what a trip that was. From brain power to immortal jellyfish, Cleopatra's timeline to cubic wombat poop. This deep dive was really about grabbing some of those facts that make you pause, maybe smile, and see things a little differently. As you think back, maybe consider, which one really stuck with you, which one genuinely surprised you the most.
Yeah, and maybe a final thought to take away. If so many things we assume are true, or common knowledge, can be flipped upside down by just one little fact, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other truths in our lives, big or small, might be worth re-examining? What else is waiting just under the surface?
That's a great question to ponder. Well, thank you so much for joining us in this particular deep dive. We hope you feel a little more informed, maybe a bit more amazed, and definitely more curious about the world. Remember, there are always new perspectives out there. Keep digging.